good afternoon to one and all present here. I am Gautam Chhabra, your host for today, and I warmly welcome all of you to our very first podcast on digitization in industrial procurement. Today we have Mr. Sushant Dutta with us as our guest. Sushant sir is the founder and CEO of One Vendor Platform, which is an e-procurement platform and is revolutionizing industrial supply chains. So first of all, thank you so much, Sushant sir, for joining us and giving us your valuable time.
Thank
Uh,
you. Thank you so much for having me. Yep.
and our audience is very much excited to listen to your journey of entrepreneurship and the journey of one VP. So hence, I'll request you to. I'll start the podcast by requesting you to take us through your journey into the corporate world and how and what inspired you to pursue leaving traditional job to be an entrepreneur.
Thanks, Gautam, and thanks everybody to come in this podcast from Sunday noon. I look forward that I could add value from this podcast to your friends to get some of the insights from my journey. So I'm a production industrial engineer from the IT Mexa 2008 pass out. Then I joined Britannia Industries as management training. First 7 years I was in factories altogether in engineering, production, operation, projects, right? 2015, I joined Amazon in operations, where in fulfillment operations, then moved to program management, then business teams in product management, then moved to tech product, moved to global teams, Scott and pricing teams. There I have seen how technology is changing operations and day-to-day e-commerce. So I joined Amazon in 2015, right? At that time, e-commerce was booming in India, right? And I was one of the fortunate to be in that path. We've seen that advancement where buyers and customers getting benefited to the technology with Amazon, Flipkart, and many everybody will be aware of that. And I'll tell you the way you shop right now in 2024, 2025, right? And the way you shop in 2012, right? There is a huge difference, right? It is unmatched, right? I can't imagine in 2012 ki ऐसा भी होगा, right? People will add order televisions, refrigerators, beds through in 2025. But the same scenario we cannot same in industrial procurement, right? Uh, the way industrial procurement used to happen in 2012-13, by and large, it's same till now. There had been a improvement after GST launch in 2017, and few more companies are there who were like I would say trailblazer in bringing a B2B commerce, but not much has happened. So there is a huge gap the way a B2C e-commerce happens and the way B2B e-commerce happened today. Uh, I'll give you some numbers just to see how big the gap is. Indian B2C commerce, it's around 10-15% of the total market, right? If you see the total, right? Uh, Surprisingly, the B2B e-commerce is mere 1%. So it's just 1% of B2B transactions are digitized today. And as per data and like companies like Best Merchant Vendors, they've predicted it should go to 5% by 2030. That means the next 6 to 7 years, the B2B commerce will be 5 times, right? Right. And so the market is so after all this, only it's 5%. So the huge market it is. And give you a sense of how big the market is. So if you Indian economy total is like $4 to $5 trillion economy, right? Right. In that, two-third is B2B, one-third is B2C. I am sure everybody understands B2B, business to business, right? Right. And in the two-third, which is about say 2.75 to $3 trillion economy, 1% is only e-commerce or digitized, right? So, and I see a lot of potential because I've worked on the industrial procurement the first 7 years. Then I was in the spree of launching products and innovation, and hence that excited me to. It's a big problem to solve in industries, and holistically helps the industrial ecosystem also, right? And that made me find this problem statement my synergy also because I have worked on that area and I see a lot of things to work. Hence, of solving this very specific problem of digitizing industrial procurement with technology and upcoming days with AI and processes to simplify industrial transaction, which can impact the industrial a country's growth engine.
Really, really inspiring, sir, and really insightful take on how you see digital procurement industry these days. So, as you said that you see many gaps right now in the industry. So, what's your take on why is this percentage, the number you quoted, is very less, and how one VP is trying to bridge those gaps? To elaborate my question, I would say, what specific problems does one VP aim to solve for its users?
Thanks for asking this question. I'll tell you why the gap is and the difference between why a B2B is less. And so in the conventional ecosystem where in a B2C, when people used to shop like kirana mom and pop, so e-commerce brings a digital way and the shipping is happen without person moving. So it is in a B2C, it is from unorganized to organized through a digital platform. You understand Amazon. But in B2B or industrial procurement, it has always been an organized. I'm not solving a problem of unorganized, right? But it's offline. So the difference between unorganized and offline, right? So suppose this industry is having the same process for last 30, 40 years, right? There is some ERP, right? There is vendor relationship, there are vendor registration, and every factory or industries have their own way of procuring, right? Say A, B, C. Say I'm taking names just for example, Tata's or Birlas or ITC, PNG, Britannia, or HUL. They have their own ERPs and big names of ERPs like SAP, SAP, Oracle, Microsoft, right? They have their own. So they're very organized, but they're pocketed. Means I suppose, but Tata Motors, for example, just for the sake, uses any ERP software, SAP or Oracle, right? And the vendor ecosystem is connected to that. Same other company, Reliance, right? They have their
Exactly.
own system. So every organization are very organized, right? But the vendor at the end have to follow each and individual processes, which makes it very difficult. And so hence what we are hence there is the penetration of e-commerce is very less because nobody wants to break that. It's so much organized. The fallback is it is so much structured. A person registered in say Jamshed is in Jamshedpur Tata Motors. He is selling say about any parts to the HVL Jamshedpur. He is not registered in a Ashok Leyland of Baddi plant, right? Because of vendor registration process, right? Which inhibits his customer sales. As buyer also, since I have my own processes, I'm not able to buy from other vendor because I'm following my own process. So this B2B in industrial procurement is so, I would say, it's so organized and so stringent and so process driven. Expanding is difficult, right? Hence, hence it is so organized, right? And process in 20, 30 years, nobody want to take chance, right? Hence, the e-commerce penetrator has been low, right? Now, acting to what one VP is doing, what we are doing, we are not telling ki you change your processes. What we are doing, we are solving this by making this offline and to online. Be it the organized stage. Say suppose there are five factories, they have own ERPs, they have own way of we are and from a vendor side, we are making an integration by in our system and we are vendor registered in multiple factories. So we are absorbing the multiple vendor registration problem at our end. We are getting vendor registered. We're absorbing the processes of multiple big factory and asking the vendor to, hey, you use one vendor platform and rest of process will be absorbed by one VP. Say suppose, for example, I'm giving Tata's, ITC, Britannia, PNG, Nestle, for example, if they come on board, right? So our process will adhere to every because we have the tech enabled. For a vendor, they will follow a single process. So they simplify the process of buying, selling, quotation, management. It's an overwhelming process. Hence, it will fasten the competitiveness, fasten the customer discovery. The quote management will be fast. The negotiation will be fast. And when there is a competition, when the fast response, when prices will come down organically. See, prices cannot come just by negotiation, right? You there has to be a solution, either supply chain solution or a competitor, which makes the price competitive. And competition is always good for a healthier growth of the full ecosystem. So that's how one VP is solving. I hope I've answered you, Gautam. Please pitch in if you see if I'm speaking long and not answering the question. I might be carried away.
Okay, and now that was really inspiring, sir, and indeed very, very insightful of you. So, as you said, what challenges that this industry faces, and you saw it and you tried to solve it. So, I would like to ask you, what were some of the biggest challenges you faced personally when starting this venture, and how did you overcome them?
See, the biggest challenge in the industry is that the customer product validation. So, any product company, like just forget about B2B or B2C, they launch a product, that's a product life cycle. They get tested, and they either pass or they fail. They do make changes. So, if you see many D2C brands, D2C product companies are there. So they make a product, right? Consumers test it. If they find it good, they launch it. If they don't find it good, they make changes. So they need to do very fast, right? The problem in our industry is that our consumers are so big, right? And the sales cycle is so huge. If you are going to make a product, testing itself takes a long time because the validation will take time. So biggest challenge which I faced, right, to validate this idea, to use this product feature amongst multiple enterprise companies, because at the end I'm solving enterprise problem, right? And this industry is very difficult to crack in this because these are organizations reaching the right people. It's not that they don't want to, but the system is such very structured, the reaching the right people in right organization, it will take time, right? And it just not like Amazon, Flipkart, the customers have test kiya aur chala gaya. There has to be through a process. It will take its due diligence and all. So this is the biggest challenge I face till today. We face that the validation of the product and services we make, right? It takes long, and since it's strong, if we fail at the later stage, our investments are gone. So we used to say in Amazon, you should fail faster and get things done. The failing faster is not happening, right? So that means so the correction mechanism, the feedback mechanisms of correcting the product takes long. And everything right now, it's like my expertise, my founders, my colleagues, and expertise who give a thoughts on. But real consumer insights is a long pool, long lead. That's the biggest challenge for any B2B, I think, not only me, right?
Yeah, the problem of not failing faster. I think that's really something our audience can learn from, and you must have uh, had some great efforts to overcome those. So
Sure.
now, as we have talked about the present and also the past of the one VP and also this industry. So now let's talk about its future. So what trends do you see shaping the future of the industry one VP operates in? And how do you envision one VP's impact on its users and the industry in next 5 years?
First of all, thanks for asking the question. And it's a very great question. And this is something which keeps me running every day. So if you ask me what's keeping moving, yes, as I said, mere only 1% of India's digital e-commerce, India's B2B is 1%. So मेरे हिसाब से 99% बचा है, right? करने के लिए. It's a huge thing to do, right? And if you talks in terms of the monetary value, if you say 5% only, it's a $200 billion market, right? Right. Uh, so it's and lot many things have not done. So there's I have a like open canvas to act sketch on, right? Right. So that excites me. And what we can do, see, I think the thing which is adding value, I am fastening a process of manufacturing, I'm fastening from industry, and that will drive a country, right? For example, a manufacturing segment, right? Can be fastened with my effort, which can impact the country's export capacity. It can come into fasting manufacturing. It can generate the faster processing of goods, which can lead to higher exports, right? So I'm just keeping it's a butterfly effect. So say suppose there was a X time to perform a thing, right? And the productivity has been like say Y, right? Now I'm reducing the X to say X dash, which is far less, that's a 20% less time, and my productivity is increasing, right? And when productivity increases, the reduces, right? And you're competitive in the global market, right? In your manufacturing, and you are competent, and exports will increase. And by the way, we're got an export license also, and we are export compliant, right? So the meta point which we're making, when you bring efficiency in the complete value chain, right, it impacts the end customers, right? If you see any example, Amazon, Flipkart, if you say what is these are in a high level, it are like a courier company, right? But actually, Amazon, Flipkart, what they are using technology to simplify and bring efficiency in the entire supply chain, right? Be it procurement, vendor addition, warehouse management. Say they are matching the customer experience and cost effective to improving the end-to-end supply chain, the value chain, right? That's what we are doing here. So we are using our technology to remove the inefficiencies, right, in the complete, I would say the right term, procure to pay and dispatch to delivery. So procure to pay is standard term in procurement when you just start negotiating, and so that we are reducing. So our industry may take faster decision, right? They get quality product, right, and the complete productivity of an industry increases. That impact overall ecosystem and the country's growth, right? And I think India will be the next manufacturing after China one policies. I think these are like something which has come. So all this will add fuel to our vision, right? So I'm very excited about it, how industry, and I think not many people are in this field, but I really hope, thanks to industry strengths, right, to bringing this awareness of industries, because I will not keep, if I get more competitors, I will be shyer because I want young people to come in this. And as I said in many forums, this B2B industry is considered to be a bit boring industry, right? Right, because ये factory में जाना है काम करा, but that excites me, right? Anything coming out of factory and manufacturing efficiency, that excites me, and that I think the common notion that entrepreneurs is equal to writing codes, it has to be a D2C brand, branding, marketing. I think we Indians have a lot of potential apart from branding, writing code, and they are very important things. I'm not saying demeaning, but understanding manufacturing, understanding the processes, bringing the tech to manufacturing areas, that will take country to heights, right? So I think people should come to this rather only going to consulting, or rather going only to coding, or rather going only to D2C brands. They should face the challenges and give a larger impact. That excites me, and hopefully, I think a phenomenal job by Industry Times to start this initiative to gather attention of manufacturing uh, to youngsters and common communities who I would say not much understand about this industry, which I suppose will support for this for in coming days as well. Yeah.
Really, really insightful, sir. And I really hope the best for your vision that it comes true. As you also took the name of Industries Time, so I'll also ask you, what are your views on Industries Times and its initiative, and how do you think Industries Times can create an impact in this industry?
See, Industries Times is a, I think the vision is to uh, create awareness or create excitement about the industry and impact it is making to an industry. See, there are a lot many channels and for which talks about writing AI, writing codes, writing D2C brands. But I don't see, and I might be wrong also. If somebody comes to me, I will be very happy, right? So I don't see a specific channel or a medium where I could understand what exact manufacturing. See, we talk a lot about manufacturing, ye karna hai, wo karna hai, but how can we solve a problem for a simple quality product to a place in say Khurda Road, quality in 2 days time item is delivered in Rajmundri. How do you get a cost effective electrical solution say in Arunachal Pradesh factories, right? And so it's a suppose, and there are many industrial zones, right? And these industrial zones are thrived by the vendors, the service providers. How do we help these industrial zones, right? And these are very complex subject to understand as well. Say suppose you shop a cloth, right? And there are multiple designs, right, and it's also complex. I'm not demeaning anybody. It's very complex understanding to understand fashion, right? But it's far more complex to understand ki, what kind of engineering technology should be applied in a conveyor belt, for example. What kind of canvas it should be there? What kind of grease you should apply? What kind of mechanisms you apply for a faster delivery of the product in that line? I'm giving you a very small example. What kind of packaging instrument, what kind of sustainable light solutions you can use, right? And every factory is complex and is in its own way, right? And automation is the key, right? The meta point which we want to make it the awareness of technology to each and every part, right, of the SEZs or economy. Because see, bigger companies might avail higher technologies, right? They might export technology from, say, Europe, Germany, right? But the mid-sized companies thrive for this technology to grow, right? So I think when we come, we are exposing this technology, we're exposing this vendor base, we're exposing this in a very simplistic manner. So, say, suppose I have a small factory. For example, there is this name came Bhaddi or Khurda Road, or I said Dahej or Jagadia, right? Now, I need good quality selling partners or suppliers or spare parts. He will call somebody, he will call them, but and that interconnection is not done till date. So it's a say suppose a person sitting in Arunachal might have to spend today like four other times to get a right service provider or a right supplier, but through a platform they can get in half the cost, right? Because we are exposing. This problem is already solved by on a larger scale by the B2C, right? Because things have been standardized, things and lot of people are maybe working on it. So suppose there is the phone of iPhone, you will not, it will, it will come in 1 lakh. I'm just giving an example. But if you come in a gearbox with a 30 teeth, with a 2-inch bore, right? Price can be say 1,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees also. There is no standardization done, and that's the industry all about, right? The type of precision you require, sometimes you don't require high precision, right? But the cost you pay like 50,000, it can be done 2,000 also. So the cataloging, the standardization, the knowledge base of industrial works is limited to pockets. Some are very high. Suppose you want to open a factory, you have to have huge knowledge, you have to hire a lot of understanding and right people to get the same thing. And I think that's what one vendor platform honest attempt to get the right services, right supplies at a manufacturers or a industries end, and it is for all small manufacturers or a bigger manufacturers.
Really amazing, sir. Moving to my next question, uh, let's talk about your competitors. So you have so much knowledge about the industry. So how do you ensure that one VP stays ahead in such a competitive market of yours?
See, the answer to this key, if you stay to any competition today or tomorrow, you have to be innovative, you have to change yourself, you have to understand your consumers, right? Be it my industry, any industry, right? If the person who understands the consumer fast, act on the consumer need faster, would win the game, right? If my competitor does better than me, they will be better than me. As straightforward as that. So I think it's been proven that who is near to. So even we are doing the same thing. Our focus is on exactly what consumer needs, right? Our focus in how executing their needs and delivery promises, because trust is very important, and I will keep on doing that, right? All right. And if I think it's a huge market, even me along with my competitor can thrive for longer years, right? Where that the share is limited and everybody is there, but share is big. I think the simple mantra, if my competitor, and I will definitely learn from my competitors, definitely, they are much bigger than me, right? They have really done a great job. And I learned from them what they have done good, they have not done correct from there. That is my starting point, right? But going forward, there is very simple mantra, but what consumer needs and how fast to adapt. I think these are two basic principles we are working. Hopefully, and I've seen this happen in larger industries like Amazon, all a customer centric company. What customer needs, they make fastly and adapt to it. There's nothing more important than this. So we will continue doing that.
Very genuine and straightforward answer, sir. As they say, consumer is the king.
Yep.
So now we will move to the last question of our podcast, and then we'll wrap this up. What key piece of advice would you offer to aspiring entrepreneurs who are just starting their journey? especially in today's competitive landscape?
So I will be very straightforward again. So see, I don't think I've spent a lot of time in being entrepreneur. It's a very big term, entrepreneur. It's very easy to be just right your name, but the real essence you'll feel when you in the journey, right? One thing we've enjoyed about the journey is amazing, right? It's a very tough journey, it's like far more different when I started, right? Only I think I will not say advice. I'd say what I have faced and my what I should have done. I should have done. Every entrepreneur or a founder has their own journey, own style, because everybody have their own background. So everybody is not like a second generation entrepreneur. I am a first generation entrepreneur, right? I have no background of entrepreneurship in my family. So they our learning curves are longer than who have already a business background. So last 15 years I've worked, then came to this. So it took me time. Only thing is that you should understand your consumers very well. Get your idea validated from your industries or a common industry, because that is the most important thing, right? Uh, because if you are having your see what is business, right? You add a value, a person pays for you. That's it. That is the simplest thing. So and the second thing, so first thing is that you should be solving a problem and should be confident about कि, hey, what I am doing is adding value to my customer. Whatever you do, you write a 1,000 line codes, right? If it's not adding a value to a consumer, it does not matter. The consumer knows that my value should be solved. So you should be very sure about if your product and it changes. I'll tell you what happens. There's a thought in mind, right? You make a product or anything, any solution, right? But at the end, what happens? Consumer is not buying to it, right? So first is you you should validate that your idea, right, from a industry expert or any no friend, and that so this is the first thing. Second, when you start, a person like me don't know many things, and it's not possible that everybody will know everything. Correct? So you should be surrounded by your like-minded people. Get help, ask for help, talk to your seniors, talk to your batchmate, talk to so getting help from a right man and talking is the most important. Uh, don't always jump to fundings and all. This is a common notion कि मुझे present है, right? That is the outcome. वो मिल जाएगा अगर आपका customers are aligning with product. Your product have been loved by your customers. And that is it. So these are two advice. Get your problem statement correct. Get your validation of your problem you're solving, right? And start with the like-minded people, because I say this term when you initial days, reliability is more important than credibility, right? It might sound odd, but in the initial days, you need somebody you should rely on. It's okay that he's not a MIT pass out or he's like a IQ level very high, but he should trust him, right? Because in initial days, you're not knowing many things. After 1 or 2 years, we are very evolved. You can take decisions. So you should take, for example, if you want to have CA, take your known CAs, right? If you know if any friend who are entrepreneur, take help from them. Uh, uh, go to alumni group. Alumni groups are very helpful. BIT has helped me a lot. I got my initial interest from BIT batch also. Um, so that has helped, and it is always closed group, which it will initially start with. Definitely, it will exhaust someday, but that will help you push or give the extra thrust to fly. So these are the two things to be in a nutshell.
Really, really insightful, sir. And that quote really stuck with me. Reliability is better than credibility.
At this stage, with definite, I think always. I think every company
You
looks
always
for
need
this.
someone to support you, whatever.
Right. Absolutely.
I think, and I think you talked about like-minded people. So I think industry's times is also can be a peer for the people who are trying to get into this industry. It can really be very helpful for them.
I see a lot of opportunity and scope to for industry times to grow. I think it's a small set of people, but the vision which I see uh, is great. You can partner with industry folks, professors, with a very clean mind, right? We want a vision, right? And that will create a butterfly effect, right? And when student community talks about, right now people talks about AI, talks about coding. Now today's AI, when everybody talks about AI, but do you know anyone talks about how to impact AI in a manufacturing line to productivity increase, the downtime has decreased, or their efficiency is greater, their MTTR, MTBF is increased, right? So imparting to those two factories, industries, cataloging, it has to go there, right? So it will come, it's a larger thing, it will not happen in one day. But the thing is that people will talk about it. जब बात करेंगे लोग, right? The discussion होगा, right? uh, then it will impact. Until time, see, if focus is not, then nothing will happen, right? Right. So I won't be a industry time as a, I will take a torchbearer or trailblazer or whatever you call, to very focused on industry brand. It's a huge area, right? Right. So I'm thinking and people are doing so, right? I think I thought it's only 1% of digitization happen in India, but if you say UK, US, it's a 20-30%. China is 25% of B2B commerce is there, right? So, and the cost of production will be only be lowered. Why China is such low cost of production, right? They are heavy on technology, and there are many good things about there, right? We should not say that China, made in China is bad. Full world is leaning on their production capacity and the cost effectiveness. Full EV sector is dependent on China, right? The batteries are so cost effective. Why? Because they have focused China with manufacturing with technology, right? Right. So we have to bring that efficiency, and it's all boils down to efficiency. कुछ भी बात कर लो आप, the efficiency matters, right? And that gives you profitability. And when I say efficiency, it's the process efficiencies. It's like when you work 8 hours, how big is the impact, right? And how smartly are you working, right? So look forward. I think industry time should play a bigger role in a larger. We just started, but I'm telling you, other torch bearers, you might not know in 1 year when industry times can go if done correctly. And in the startup, one thing is said, uh, which is stuck in mind always. It's startup. It's 1% is the idea. You have a good idea, right? 99% is execution, right? So if you don't execute, the idea is just a, that's it. It's a paper written thing. So you have to be very smart in execution, and I think the companies fall and being great because of this factor of executing it efficiently. Right? You have to on to it. हो जाएगा if you are focused on it. Look forward. I think thank you, Swapan. Thank you, BI Consulting, for taking this up. I think you people will, I'm sure, take this industry to greater heights for larger vision of industrial uh, next digital things in coming industries in India.
Thank you so much, sir, for your great words. And I think it was really an honor to talk to you and to learn from you, your knowledge about digital procurement, your innovative work at 1VP, and your admirable journey. So I think it was an honor for us to talk to you, and I learned so much things from you. So thank you so much for joining with us, and thank you to all the audience too for joining. I think they must have learned a very insightful things from you. Thank you so much.
Sure, sure. Thanks again. Thanks again to everybody, audience, Swapan, for taking your time on Sunday. Look forward to connect again.
Yeah, yeah, agreed. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.